But anywho, we gonna move on to the the NBA Cup. The NBA Cup. The
There we go.
champion was named last week. The New York Knicks beat the Spurs to win their first championship.
Yeah, I'll start with this. I have mixed feelings on the NBA Cup. I can appreciate a player incentivized cup. I think there is it's a double-edged sword, DeAndre. I think that the NBA Cup can give players more incentive in an 80-game season to, play competitively midway through the year. But at the same time, it just feels like this just takes a lot of glory away from what the finals should be. And I just don't think the NBA Cup is ever going to have that same level of importance as per se a playoff type game, because the NBA Cup is just an incentive thing. It does show an outlook for how a team's performing at the time, but given the longevity of an NBA season, a lot of that changes. And we'll talk about this bracket style, right? I can't pull it up, unfortunately, because my Mac it really can't handle this. But I think if we look at what was on the East, the NBA Cup was a 4-team play-in for the 4 best teams from each conference at the time. Although I don't even know if is that even true? Because I'm looking at
So the cup is operated. So they play the cup games on Fridays, starting with that second or third week of the NBA season, and those are the games that go towards this cup. It's not about who has the best record. It's not about anything of that. It's just who wins these cup games. So the cup games are whenever the NBA changes the floor, and they have those different floor looking, the different hardwoods. That's the cup games, and those are counted towards this NBA Cup. So it ain't got nothing to do with who got the best record or anything like that. It's just the cup games. I went to a couple cup games this year. I went to like a Sixers one, and then I went to a Pistons one. And it's cool to see the courts like that, but that's how it's determined. So it ain't got nothing to do with regular season.
Interesting. I did not know this. And with that, I'm looking at the bracket right here, and I mean, you have the Suns in on the other side of the West. I didn't expect that, but you see the Knicks and the Spurs in the finals, and I remember watching the Thunder Spurs Cup game, thinking to myself, and listen, the Thunder are currently on a whole nother plane of talented. But the NBA, especially in the West, looks very scary this year. And I think the Knicks winning the cup gives a little bit of hope towards the East. I think we mentioned this a little bit in the beginning of the episode, but we'll touch back on this now. DeAndre and I met through House of Highlights when we were on Clash hating on the New York Knicks. And when we were doing that, I had a lot of very animated things to say about the New York Knicks. I personally believe that them firing Tom Thibodeau was a terrible decision. Granted, he had problems with that team. I didn't think Mike Brown was much of an upgrade. Offensively, he was, but in the general grand scheme of things, I don't think he was really that much better. And, there is teams outside of the East like the Cavaliers. I mean, now this year, I think the Magic are actually doing pretty damn well. And, you have other teams like maybe the Hawks that are doing okay. The Bulls are looking actually not horrible. They just won last night, which was a pretty close game. But, the Sixers are solid. But here's the problem with the NBA. The East is just still so weak. The Knicks winning the NBA Cup, New York fans, as you know, I mean, you're in New York, they're going to take this way more seriously than any other fan base would take it serious. If the Thunder won the cup, they would have been like, oh, cool. Okay. See,
Yeah, they've been like, we don't care about the cup. We want the
even if,
real cup.
even
We
if
want the championship.
if the Spurs won it, I actually would have loved that. I think the Spurs have one of the most exciting young teams right now, especially with Ron Harper, right? You have Ron Harper, Dylan Harper, right? It's
Yeah, Dylan Harper.
one of the Harper brothers. Victor Wembanyama is the most terrifying player on the court right now. I mean, the only answer is really Giannis, and even then, I don't think he's the answer. Wemby is just, you got to be scared going forward, man. That guy's going to win a championship, at least one. And them losing to the Knicks, I think, was definitely kind of surprising. But at the same time, I think that the NBA Cup, the Knicks winning it, which congratulations to the New York Knicks, but at the same time, I don't think this is something that's going to dictate the Knicks season. I think the Knicks will make the playoffs. Hell, I could see them making the AFC Championship again. I mean,
You mean the finals? You mean the Eastern Conference
Eastern
Finals?
Conference Finals. My bad. Still have the football brain going. But I could see the Knicks making the ECF. I don't think that they're gonna be a finals team this year.
So who you think gonna beat them then?
I think that even though their start has not been amazing, I think the Cavaliers are the team to look out for on the East. I think it's the
Okay, we'll
Cavs.
see.
We will see. I think the Magic are a sleeper too. I think Paolo Banchero has been very solid, and his supporting cast has looked very good. I think the Sixers, my dear Sixers, are if they stay healthy and Embiid can play well, I think we have a shot. But the East is just the NBA Cup. The Knicks winning it, good for them. But the big
Are you
narrative,
a Sixers fan?
I am a Sixers fan.
So how is that? Because you ain't an Eagles fan.
So it is kind of like this. I'll give you a quick breakdown. Um, I and I don't hate the Eagles. I don't love the Eagles, but I'm a Ravens fan. My dad went to the University of Maryland. Show go Terps, even though they're terrible at everything except lacrosse, men's lacrosse. But I grew up going to Baltimore a lot, and I grew up going to a lot of Ravens games and Orioles games, right? So at heart, I am a Ravens fan for football. But, most of my family, and I did grow up in Philadelphia for a few years. I grew up going to a lot of Flyers games, Phillies games, been to a good amount of Sixers games too. So that's why I'm Philly everything. And I don't hate the Eagles, but they're not my favorite team.
Okay, that makes sense. I just had to put the puzzle pieces together. I was confused a little bit, but it
Yeah.
all makes
So
sense.
I had to break that down for you. And the fog is clear now. But let me say this: my Sixers are they're gonna choke. I mean, it's just how it goes. It's just. I'm not even gonna say more on it. What team do you like? Are you a Knicks fan?
I'm a Nuggets fan.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
Nuggets fan because I'm from Kansas City. We do not have an NBA team, and growing up, the OKC Thunder was not there when I was of young age to pick a team. And so it was either the Bulls in Chicago or the Nuggets because they're the two closest teams via distance wise. And then I liked Melo, so that kind of made it easy. And the Bulls, after Jordan, I was like real little when Jordan was playing. So like it wasn't, I didn't get to see him. I just everyone liked Jordan. I was like, I want the Nuggets. So that's me. But yeah, man, I think the cup was cool for the Knicks, man. They get a championship. They get some gear. If people want to buy the championship cup gear, have at it. I don't know how it would feel rocking that, but hey, congrats. Um, I like the cup. It's cool. It adds a little flavor. Add into whatnot with the courts changing. I got to, like I said, go to a few cup games. I got to go to a Mavs cup game. I like seeing the different courts. It's cool. I've always wanted. Growing up, I'm always like, oh, I want the courts different colors, and now I get to see it. Spurs, yes, they're gonna be a force to reckon with, and I think honestly, winning the cup for the Knicks is a good omen. Last year, the Thunder actually made it to the Cup Finals and lost to the Bucks, and they won the NBA championship. The year before that, the Lakers won the cup but lost to the Pacers. The Pacers eventually made it to the NBA Finals. So if the pattern repeats, the Spurs and or the Knicks will make the finals this year or next year. So I think it's good with morale early this season. You kind of see what you got comparison to the other top teams. It puts your players in that kind of playoff atmosphere to a degree. And, the Knicks have that. The Spurs don't. So I think it's better for the Spurs in this case, long term, to kind of see, get that emotions through them. And honestly, I think the Knicks, they make the finals this year. It's finals or bust for them this year. If they don't make it this year, I don't know what else you can do to make it except get Kevin Durant or Giannis, but it's time. I think it's going to be a long April and May for New Yorkers in the good way for the most part. I don't think they're going to win the finals. I just think they're going to get there. But the other teams in the East, you got the Pistons. They're the one seed currently. Pistons are nice. I got to see the Pistons play. They're nice, but I
Things are
think
really nice. They're gross.
yeah, they're nice. And so Cade has to transform into that next level. And if he can do that, they got a good chance of beating the Knicks. The Magic, they're strong too, like you said. But I got to see a little bit more,
Yeah, me too.
but they look strong. The Sixers, I like the Sixers a lot. If Embiid stays healthy, they can beat any team. But I don't
We've
think
been
he's gonna be
saying for the
healthy.
past 5 years, man. It's
I
like
don't think he'll be healthy. So I'm just gonna put it like that. He ain't gonna be healthy. Edgecombe is dope. I love Edgecombe. He's lit. And then I think the other team, the Cavs, I don't know. They kind of like the I don't believe in them because of the aura in the building. Take out LeBron James Cavs, but just outside of LeBron James, the Cav ain't got that aura in the building,
Yeah.
and it's a wrap. So shout out the Knicks for winning the cup.